Okay, we are recording. So first off, hi and welcome. My name is Andrea. I'm one of the librarians here at ACC. And throughout the session, if you have any questions, I'm going to be trying to watch the chat box. But you also have a microphone and want to just kind of interrupt me, that is completely fine too. When there's questions and when it's a little bit more interactive. So please let me know any questions at any point, or if I'm going too fast or things aren't making sense at all. So your window should change a little now. And here. So first off, what we're going to cover tonight is finding lots of different kinds of information, finding books and articles, videos, stream videos, DVDs, all that kind of stuff, magazine articles, journal articles, kind of everything that you might need for your research. And there are several ways to access the library's content, but the best way on our side is to access it through the library's web page. You can get in here through my ACC and it's going to look similar, but we do tend to keep the library page updated first. So this is just up at the top, I have arapahoe.edu and click on library at the top of any page, and then it's going to take you right in here. This section here is going to look pretty similar to it'll link to the same pages. We just update this page more frequently with news, current events, and things like that. So that's why we kind of recommend going this way. Right here in the center box, we have called Library Links. What this will do is search pretty much everything that the library has to offer. We don't recommend using this for when you're looking for your journal articles, because some of the systems don't link very well. There's broken links and things like that that just aren't really fixable at this point. So we recommend doing this mainly for books, ebooks, things like that you can more or less put your hands on. The ebooks, of course, are virtual, but everything else that you can access through here as well. The evening now, tonight, I'm going to kind of focus on a few topics. I'm going to start with just a general search here of the death penalty. This, again, works kind of like Google. So if I just type in death penalty and then hit go, I don't have to do anything fancy or special. I'm just going to kind of take a look at what there is to check out in our system. Tons of results in here. And what you is that it's ACC Library and Learning Commons is the that owns the item. The first few pages should generally be that way, but we get pretty far into your results or start limiting it down here on the side with a lot of these options. That might change to say WorldCat libraries, and then that's something that we don't own. We can generally get it or borrow a copy of it. Going to be as quick. Anything that says ACC Library and Learning Commons is going to be available, unless it's checked out by somebody else, but it'll be available very, very quickly. We can send it to one of our other campuses if you'd like to do that, or we can have it available to you, kind of whatever works best in that way. So when I click here again on availability, I can see that this is a print book. It's located at ACC. It's in the library, and this is the shelf location or call number for the item. It's a print book here. I can see that this one, both, that's a little bit surprising. So this is a little bit of a different one. It looks like it's actually an ebook, since I have this little red or orange E right here, and I can actually get into the ebook automatically. So if you're remote and far away and don't want to come to one of our campuses to pick up the book, this is a really good way to access a lot of information. Same thing like with these ones down here. Here of print and ebooks. If you wanted a video specifically, we could click on video in the side here, and it's going to take out everything that's not a video. This will include DVDs and our streaming videos. which makes it pretty easy for you to access those as well. The e-videos. Right now, you could actually click on View Now, same thing, and it would take you out to the new system. And I'm off campus right now, so I'm going to have to enter my S number, and that's how it would work for you as well. And adding the video. Via might be a little bit slow and choppy, but this is how this would look. Ooh, sorry about that. So that's how those would work. And again, the DVD videos are going to be ones that you can send to you at one of the campuses or check out for you. Feature on the side here, you can really focus down on what you are looking for. If you wanted something within a specific year, so you only wanted newer things, you could click over here. If you wanted something that's nonfiction, you can click on all these different options on the side. Record, this is a record page. We have some also very helpful features on here. Cite/export link up here in the top. We give you both the APA and MLA citations, and I believe you guys are using MLA, that you can actually use for your class. I always recommend, always, that you want to proofread these. A lot of the times the capitalization is wrong, the punctuation might be off or missing, things like that. But generally these are about 90%, if not more, 90 to 100% accurate. So I'm taking those down and save you a lot of effort, as opposed to going out to the website and things like that and not search in the library content. So anything you access through the library will have a 90 to 100% accurate citation, but really very some errors in them. Aware of. Hold on this book, then it would be up available for you at the desk when you got there. Just a little button you can click and log into the system. Okay, easy, kind of feels like Amazon. So if you've ever shopped on Amazon, it kind of feels like that with all the limits and features and things like that that you can do on here. So again, we generally recommend this for print books, ebooks, and things you can check out. So even though ebooks are a little different, they work pretty well in this system. I'm going to go back a few pages here actually to the library landing and show you a few of these buttons down here. So these are kind of our, again, buttons to our resources. One and has the majority of the content that you're probably going to need for your research. And what we've done with this page here is outlined different and that are available to you them in the research process. So in theory, you would probably search for background information first up here. These are encyclopedias, dictionaries, overview articles, things like that. We are always very clear about this. These are not peer-reviewed. These are absolutely very helpful sources, but they are not necessarily, well, they're not going to be actually peer-reviewed at all. So that be aware of if peer-reviewed sources at any point in time in this class or another class. Anything up here at the top in these two boxes are not peer-reviewed. First one in each box here. CQ Researcher is a really nice tool, especially if you are looking for help with finding a topic, and then again, background information if you have your topic already. One thing I really like about this is that you can browse topics. So if you have no idea where you want to start, you can jump in and take a look at, I picked law and justice, and then all these different ideas that for law and justice to die, assisted suicide, and things like that. So these will not count toward peer-reviewed, but they can be more if you wanted to add. It looks like you can use these sources, but you have to have 3. So we will absolutely point out peer-reviewed too. Really nice. I like browsing in here when I have no idea want to demonstrate, or if I need some new ideas. This is a really good place to go. I love this pro-con tracker. So you, again, don't you feel about an issue, or be a pro-con an issue here. That will always go as this pro-con page here. So the idea of capital punishment, I'm just going to type in the upper right in my search box, hit enter, and see what we get. So one benefit to doing your research, starting your research in here, is that you're going to come up with some keywords. Even though I'm calling it capital punishment, and that's the phrase that I would use, that's what other people would use. And that's really important in your searching, because unfortunately the systems aren't just like Google where they're going to come up with synonyms for you. You need to do some of that kind of background information gathering so you can tweak searches to include all of them. Debates. And I would write down ordinarily that death penalty is a synonym for capital punishment. So I would use those two together in tandem in my searching later. That's why I recommend skimming these. These can be pretty long, so you might not necessarily want to read the whole thing, but skimming, I keep seeing death penalty. There might be other words that pop out at me. Oh, perfect, great word. Lots of charts and data and graphs and fun things that you could use. The two biggest pieces that I really like. Almost here. Okay, so again, the pro-con, and they add these into the articles. It answers a question related to, it's not helpful. It answers a question related to your mix. So in this case, capital punishment. In this case, it's asking, should capital punishment be abolished in the United States? And the pro-con look at that question. And technology. So you can get a really good idea about what is what from this. And there is a section down here at the bottom of the page. And MLA up in the top to change that. And again, same preface goes with this one. Double, triple, quadruple check that there are no capitalization and punctuation errors on here. That's so just from reading and kind of skimming this article here, I'm now realizing that death penalty, capital punishment, and execution are going to be crucial to my search terms, as opposed to just using the idea of capital punishment. I keep going back here. Some pages. CQ Researcher works, and it's really good with kind of cultural topics, things that are going on in the news, that kind of where CQ Researcher excels. Credo Reference is very similar in terms of being background information. This is searching more reference books. CQ Researcher is searching content created as opposed to books that have been digitized. So this is searching 786 reference books. That means that those are atlases, almanacs, things like that, that generally have relatively short article entries in them that talk about very specific pieces of information. So I do the same thing, capital punishment here. And we have two things here. Sometimes you'll get back this top page, which is going to be a longer look again at the whole total concept, and different articles within books. So this was in the World of Criminal Justice. This was in the Encyclopedia of Judaism. encyclopedia since 1945, etc., all the way down. And they're going to be shorter. You kind of see these are like a page or a page and a half generally, or even shorter. This is like a paragraph look. So shorter, easier, again, giving those background terms and keywords that are going to make your searching substantially easier. And again, of course, there are citations on these as well. All these here. They do have some pretty nice images if you are needing images or anything. The other thing that I like in here is mind map. And be kind of more helpful on the topic setting side. Again, if you don't know what you want to write about, this is going to help with if it'll be to play around with if you have a chance. Take advantage of this. It basically comes up with like those webs. I don't know. I think I had to come up with concept webs in elementary school, and this kind of helps with that. I'll try this one here. This is more like exploring concepts that CQ Researcher had. The map is loading through WebEx. It's kind of picky, so needs a lot of internet. So, okay, the mind map. It's kind of fun. It'll allocate or readjust itself depending on where you click and stuff like that. So it'll pull together that you never knew were related. And here in Credo reference. Perfect. That is perfect. Let's see. Let's see. Looks like you can see how all these different concepts are interrelated and kind of the web that different ideas make. And everything is clickable, so if you click on something, it's going to readjust itself. So this person clicked on Michelangelo and then clicked on Bell, and it's moving and giving you new ideas and kind of expanding and pulling out there. So just kind of fun if you need some ideas for topics. But really into the meat of doing research is going to mainly be here in the scholarly and popular article databases. These will have, again, scholarly articles, which are generally peer-reviewed, there's kind of three levels. There's peer-reviewed, then slightly less scholarly would fit the scholarly level, kind of a confusing phrase there. And so popular articles are in things like People magazine and Time and Newsweek and National Geographic, things like that you can, if you can think of it as, you can buy these at a grocery store. That's a popular article. Scholarly articles are more advanced. They're written for experts in the field, and then peer-reviewed is even more scholarly, meaning it's gone through a peer review process that is with researchers who then submit an article to a journal. There is a group of peer experts who read the article, say it's valuable, say it needs to be tweaked, kind of edit it, and then there's some back and forth sometimes between the peer reviewers and the author or authors, and then it's published in a very, very high level public journals that and cater to experts in the field. So it's great quality information that you can rely on to be accurate and that has gone through a process. It's not me sitting in my basement writing an article about nuclear that I know nothing about. You know, it's very, which could be on a website, and just writing about something that happened and it getting published in Newsweek. These are current reporting on the research they've done generally. Sometimes there's other levels, but basically that's kind of how that works out there. So I like to start here with Academic Search Complete from EBSCO. This has a nice layout and it works really well, and generally you have lots and lots of articles. So I start with quotation marks. my term of capital punishment. The reason I put that in quotes is so that the capital and punishment is the words and makes a phrase instead of there being there was a event at the Capitol building because somebody screamed during the legislative session. It's going to search absolutely for capital punishment. It's going to read things where capital is in one paragraph and punishment is in another. And what I'm going to see here is articles that we have. We have 4,000. Haven't hit the peer-reviewed journals button intentionally. I like to kind of get a good look at the topic as a whole. I want to see what's being written about it in academic journals, which are those peer-reviewed, or what's being written about it in newspapers or magazines. So this one here is from Time magazine and is indicated periodical icon instead of the academic journal icon. So when we were doing our original research, or our background research, I saw that we had death penalty and execution as a term that was used frequently in those searches. So what I'm doing is I'm combining all of my different terms that mean the same thing as capital punishment or very similar, death penalty or execution, with the connector word of or. So that's going to do in my pool. It's going to bring back more results. If I were torture or ethics, I'm back with a whole big branch of results. And it's going to be different if I would have used the term and between them. So what this does is this is going to expand our search and more. So I have now 18,000, which is noticeable. It means that probably people are actually calling this issue death penalty or execution. And we didn't play with it in a way that I can tell which one it is. I don't know if death penalty is bringing back more right away or if it's execution, but that's what's going on. And had I only searched for capital punishment, I would have been missing out on, what, 1,000 articles. So that's why it's really important to try to think like authors and think about the terms that they're using. Because 18,000 articles is a huge articles to go through. And no way that I ever read 8,000 titles, let alone full articles. I need to focus it down again. So this is where I'm going to come back and use this phrase, connector of and. I connect two concepts. So in this case, it's torture and ethics, or in this case, it would be capital punishment. And I'm going to do capital punishment reduces in crime. Those are going to be my three concepts. I'm going to see if there's data out there that proves that that's true. To do that, when I add reduces and crime to my search, I'm going to be narrowing down my search and getting just what's going on here, in just right here. So in this Venn diagram, I'm getting just kind of where it's a little bit darker blue. When I combine all of them, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take a look at three concepts: capital punishment, reduces, and crime. Or I'm sorry, pool here, where it's talking about all three of my concepts, not down here, just this little tiny triangle where it's talking about all concepts. So it should be pretty effective at that point. So reduces or reduction or keep going as long as we can think of them. Deter. I'm sure. And then crime or homicide or say more that I could think of to put right there. So what's going to happen now is I'm searching all three of my concepts. This is concept 1, concept 2, and concept 3. Ooh, that's a perfect idea. That's a great idea. 18,000, I don't know, 500 or so, 400, I don't remember what we were at before. But I took tons and tons of articles, and I'm now down to 111 articles. And you don't need to get down to that. If you have tons of articles and everything's looking good, that's fine. You don't have to worry that if there's thousands and thousands of articles, you're not going to be able to find anything. It just helps when there are tons and they're all across the board to focus. So that's kind of the main goal here. A lot of these look relevant to me. I always would go to a few pages in. Well, I mean, you can, but sometimes it's nice to get a look at more than just the first page's worth of articles. One little thing I forgot, I'm going to limit down to peer-reviewed. A ton more. Now I'm down to 38. And again, you do not need to get down to under some specific number. As long as the results are looking like what you need, you are on track. This is where we do have to get down. If you ever are having any issues, at some point this full text box might have become unchecked, and you will lose this little button here on some of your articles. So if you don't PDF full text, or there's another one that looks like, let's see, either here, then make sure this full text box is checked. That's another big little tip. Another big tip for you there, that if this ever gets unchecked, you will have some articles that you can't access right away. When you have full text checked, that means you can get to all the articles in our right now immediately. You can print them, save them, email them, do whatever it is that's best for you to store them. This looks pretty good, deterrence and the death penalty. Let's take a look here. Options on the side. We have article information, so the authors, what journal or magazine it came from, in this case a journal, how old it is, so this is kind of, and then this nice piece here in the center that is an abstract or summary of an article. It's nicely highlighted where my terms are coming in, so I look at it. I do generally read this thoroughly before I actually go into the article, because I want to make sure before I waste time that this is going to be what it's going to be about is going to be related to my topic. The cite button on the side. This one I can tell immediately that there are issues with it. Oh, I'm sorry, your MLA. I can tell immediately that there are some issues. This one might be better. I'm a little rusty on LA, but this is to, again, so there's that. And then if you want to, that popped up, you could listen to the article. It is read to you. I don't know how great they are for seamless reading, but if you want to listen to it, that's there. And I always prefer the PDF as opposed to that HTML view, because they look a lot better. They look a lot cleaner. This is what it actually looked like. You can even tell this one was scanned slightly cockeyed there, slightly to the side. Not the best job there, but that's how it actually looked when it was printed in the journal. You're going to get all the formatting, all the charts and graphs, images, data, everything like that. You lose a little bit of this in the this will probably not be in that HTML view, and this could be really crucial if you're looking for something that are like you need a number or something like that. There's a lot in here. And yes, absolutely. Thank you. Good point. That's going to make citing a lot easier if you use the PDF. So that is how one of the PDF looks, as opposed to using this here. This is a lot more difficult to kind of decipher the data here. And again, you do miss that, the charts and the page numbers and all the good stuff. Okay. You can create folders in here. To save them, you would need to create a login with this system, specifically with EBSCO, but you can use the folders to do kind of management while you're researching. As soon as I close this, since I'm not logged into the system, it will go away, but it'll stay there as long as we're open in this window. Just for you if you kind of wanted to add a bunch doing right now is added 3 to my folder. Could go and take a look at all of them at once. But I have my articles and email them from here all as one. If that's how I like to take care of my articles is by email, you can go ahead and do that. Type in your email right there. Inclusions, and then they're going to be sent as attachments. You could take off HTML and just do attachments and send those to yourself if you'd like to. That's just one way to search. So I am going to go back view here, and I want to show you the difference between answering that too, Liz. That's great. Thank you. You're being very helpful. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So we were just in Academic Search Complete. We are now going into ProQuest. Similar to Academic Search Complete, it's just going to be a different layout. So how we had those really nice 3 boxes before, here to get our 3 boxes you have to just do add a row, but it just kind of isn't as clean. I like the other one better, but the results in here are very, very good as well. Compare. Execution. Light topic for this evening. And reduce, or reduction, or prevent, deter. Is actually you could use blur that's built in right here, and then I could have put this in 2 boxes. I prefer to just type it because that's kind of my habit, but if you wanted to use the or here, you absolutely could do that as well. Or so, and you can always check this from the beginning or do your research or your first search first and tweak it on the next page. It's up to you. I generally do it after just because same thing, it's my how I do it, but you can absolutely do peer reviewed from the beginning or take it off at this point and do your search again. It's up to you completely. So we have lots more results in here. That's not always the case, but sometimes it is. It really just depends on what you're searching. These are 2 completely separate pools of journals, so you're searching different places. So that's why we're going to be getting different results and why it really matters to try both of our big databases here. Okay. One thing I do like about this database is that it highlights right easily. I can see how often my terms are coming up. This is kind of my first sweep through, is just kind of looking at the titles and how frequently within this blurb my words are coming up, my terms are coming up. Kind of pick one here. A historical look would be valuable depending on what you're reading about. Right here, and they always have the full text here as this, again, HTML view, but I like the full text PDF view better. And same thing, you'll notice that these don't have pictures or color pictures or advertisements. I mean, the big thing is actually advertisements, but it's not going to have a lot of that stuff. It's really going to look pretty boring and bland, you know. That's kind of a good indicator that you are in a scholarly publication. The charts and graphs. Yep. Again, always with the cite button. That's a hot one here, so go down here. And then you can, same thing, after you proofread it, and then proofread it, But that is your citation right there. So to Academic Search Complete just looks a little bit different. And it doesn't give you that nice search right here. I know that this is, if I wanted to take part of it off and I just wanted to look at it, I just kind of want to just do a search for death penalty and crime. We'll get a different set of results. So let's see here. Since I have my concepts, the whole thing, I have now 1,000 more, 8,000 results. So you can kind of play with your terms and see with which different sets of terms you get different results and how it kind of works together here. If you realize that you're getting, if one of your synonyms for a concept is not working for you, this is a place where you could add it or modify it as well. It doesn't modify as nicely as Academic Search Complete, but it works. The results are great. So it's just kind of a few little tweaks that are different that you might need to get used to. Here I do like, in this Academic Search Complete also has this, you can update the results based on publication date. So now I'm actually just looking back to 2000. And so I'm going to lose lots. So I took out 3,000. Now they're all a little bit newer. Same thing, if you actually realize, oh, you know, I want to get just back in the last few years. Okay, you and just are left with 3,000 results. As well. If you find you're getting a whole lot of results for a different country and you really wanted to look just at something here fully within the United States, you can click on location and United States, and it's going to then do only the U.S. So those will be local articles covering issues within our country instead of outside. So now we're down again to 479. So we just keep kind of limiting it down to get more specific to what we're looking for. So again, same thing, just all the results on here as well. Let's take a peek. I'm going to go back. I feel like I've missed a few things. But basically, the big things to remember here are going to be come up with your separate concepts. And you don't have to have three. Three is really nicely. But if you can come up with two, sometimes all you need, or sometimes that's all you can come up with, and that's completely fine as well. But generally, if you can even just break things down and you can't think of any synonyms, better if you can come up with at least two concepts. And that generally, if you can pull your thesis statement apart a little bit, you can usually come up with you know, there's tons. The one nice thing is the databases do have started prompting you a little bit. So if you can't think of any synonyms for your concept, we could try benefits of green technology. It's going to work probably fairly well. Here I'm getting some in Spanish, or I don't know, actually that might not be Spanish. That's probably Portuguese, maybe. I don't know. By doing language, if you're finding a whole lot, same thing, of articles in another language, click wherever that went. And tweak your results that way as well. So you can just come up with two. That's going to be well. Adding things like benefits, negatives, drawbacks, pro, con, things like that will also count as secondary concept too. So, and I really like that point. It's very helpful to try different databases. These two that I showed you tonight are the two most general, so they're going to have topics on everything from World 2 to green technology to topics in everything. These here are a little bit more subject specific. So if you find out that you want to write something about a business that's more of a business issue, we have business specific databases. Or if writing something about a topic within psychology, this is another way to go in trying that. This JSTOR is a really great one within and religion, art history, that kind of discipline. Again, if you're looking at anything that may be along those lines, JSTOR is a really place. And then I have some papers. This Access World News is pretty nice. So if you realize you're writing something that might be a little bit newer, or writing about a big concept, but something was just recently in the news. So if you're writing about, downer, I was thinking of school shootings, and you wanted to see what's out there on that. Database exclusively of newspaper articles. So you could see what's been in the news here. So this was in trying to read through this at the same time here. So, yes, you can go here and take a look at all the different recently added newspaper stories and things like that on various topics, and specifically focus in on world regions or, again, specific publications. So if you want the say today, things like that, you can focus down as well in here. So not the biggest place. You do need the peer-reviewed sources. It will keep your research if you would like to use any newspaper articles at all. So this is the one that I would recommend. This one works, but this one's better. It's a bigger pool. So this is where you're going to be doing the majority of your research. If you can't find something, or if you want a different kind of result, meaning a different format, you could look here in streaming videos, and these are our 3 different streaming video collections. You directly in our ebook collections right here. Or if you're having anything from tonight and don't remember where all, but these guides here will help you with your research within specific disciplines and kind of show what we recommend for those different classes. And yes, I have not mentioned that. That's perfect. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about. We do have 24-hour chat help. So it's actually linked in several places. I'm going to go back one more time to our, anywhere you see this Ask Academic logo, if you click on that and then start typing a question, that is actually chat the librarian. For the most part, during the day, we have a group of librarians around Colorado that we work with. So you could actually end up chatting with me, my staff, during the day, sometimes. And you hours a day, 7 days a week. It's with the exceptions of major holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving or something like that. So anytime you need any help, the librarian that you get to during the day and at the after hours, it's a bigger pool. We kind of service that out, so we're not up at midnight chatting. But there's always a librarian available. Anytime you see this Ask Academic logo, that's what that is. We would have been chatting with a librarian. Here, let's see here. Actually have it right here as well. So any place you see that, there's lots of places where it is located around our website and throughout the database here. So any place you see that, you can click on it, start chatting, and then help you find what you're looking for. If you need help brainstorming synonyms or you don't remember where to start or anything like that, again, very, very helpful, and you might end up chatting with one of your ACC librarians. And then finally, let's see here, if you want to do any one-on-one appointments, we can do those face-to-face or online. If you do book a librarian here on this link, it'll just take you to a little form that you can fill out, and then it'll come to us. We can help you. We can do these kind of sessions one-on-one, again, OBEX, just like we're doing right now, and get research done generally within a time session. Or if you come to campus, we can do these face-to-face as well. But if you just kind of fill this in and then hit submit, we generally get you scheduled pretty quickly and in person or online for your research help. appointment, but you just need some help, we can do phone calls, so of course our phone number, or emails. We are here to help you in any way that we can, if that's appointment-based or just drop-in or you're just frustrated or anything. My general rule with research is really don't feel longer than like 20 minutes or a half hour. If after that amount of time you're not finding anything, please let us know. We are here to help. This is what to do. Here to support you and make doing research easier for you. And do that. So whichever way works best, again, chatting after hours or during the day, anytime, doing email, whatever it is that we can help you with, let us know. That's really our big push. So tonight, if you can remember articles and databases, and then just to kind of slowly research down the page, that'll be the most effective way for you to pull your different tools together. And again, who goes out to Parker and Castle Rock. So again, if you're at those campuses ever, she can do appointments one-on-one or drop in. Same thing as at our Littleton Little Branch campus. So does anybody have any questions on anything? Coming up on about 50 minutes here, so I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I do want to make sure that nobody has any questions or anything, and I can stick around for a few minutes too if so. I think for me, but let me know. Getting this processed into D2L, that should take, so it'll probably be done tomorrow sometime. No, tomorrow it should have. I should be able to get Liz and a link to a YouTube video that you guys can have access to this. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. For something, really, please let us know. Again, this is like our favorite thing, is to helping people with research. So thank you. Good. Here. Myself, but if you guys don't have any questions, that's the end of it from me. So have a good evening, and I will talk to you all soon. But if you want to stick around, let me know. I'll be here until everybody signs out. So have a good evening.